What's up guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to talk about, is a master's degree worth it? And specifically, I'm going to tell you what I'm earning my master's degree in right now, how much it's costing me, and what I think it's worth. But if you clicked on this video, then potentially you're in undergrad or you've been out of school for a while, and you yourself are asking the question, should I go back to school? Should I get a master's degree? Is it worth it? And if we just Google, is a master's degree worth it? The top result is this Washington Post article. And it says people with advanced degrees tend to earn bigger paychecks. That's what we care about, right? Earning more money. They're also more likely to land a job. The median annual earnings for somebody with a master's degree is $69,100. People with just a bachelor's, $57,600. However, if you click on other articles, you're going to get different numbers. Here's a Georgetown University study from 2015 that said people with bachelor's degrees earn $61,000, people with graduate degrees, $78,000. So the difference in earnings here was about $12,000, but the difference here is about $17,000. And with these surveys, there's a lot of different ways you can slice it. And let's just talk about it. You know, what is causing the disparity and what really matters? Here's an article, once again, what is the actual value of a master's degree? According to her statistics, she says, although master's degrees are associated with an average salary increase of about $12,000, earnings benefits varies greatly by discipline. You know, according to payscale.com, master's graduates in some fields, such as literature and history, do not increase their earnings at all. And I don't need to bust out a calculator for you and run the math. There is an opportunity cost to going back to school full-time in which you are not also working and earning an income. Additionally, you might have to accept an unpaid internship for work experience. You might also delay buying a house. All of these things in the long run cost you money, but if you can earn a higher salary, it makes up for it. But you gotta get a degree in something that will earn you a higher salary. So definitely anything related to tech or STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, medicine. Additionally, anything related to business and finance. Those are the money degrees. If you want to get a master's in one of those fields, often your company, if you already have a job and work experience, will help you get that graduate degree. They'll either give you an interest-free loan or scholarship. And it makes sense because they view it as an investment, professional development in their workforce. Ideally, they would like to retain you, but you know, if you get poached by a rival company, they're poaching people as well, so it has a net neutral effect. Additionally, it all comes down to cost. How much are you paying for this graduate degree? If you look at the average cost of an MBA program in America, it's about $40,000. Is $40,000 worth the cost to get an MBA? Will you earn a higher salary over your lifetime? And once again, it depends on the discipline, depends on the school, depends on the job. You still got to work for it. Nothing is a given or an automatic. If you're currently in undergrad and you're talking to your professors, I definitely think they're going to push you in the direction of getting a master's degree because they're from the world of academia. It's what they know, it's what they value. But likewise, if you talk to somebody who never went to college, but they're still successful today, they're going to say, no, it's a waste of time. Don't get a master's degree. You know, you don't need it. And from what I've experienced from the working world is that credentials only get you so far. And what matters more is your work experience and your connections. If you get good references, you know people, you're well connected, or if you have a stellar work history with amazing companies or rivals and competitors, that definitely matters more than where you went to school. With that said, let me give you my backstory and what I did and why I'm kind of questioning it. So I graduated undergrad in 2008 with a bachelor's in geology and political science. I then, for whatever reason, decided to teach English in South Korea for 6 years. And while I was over there, I was thinking, I really like living abroad. I like traveling. What can I do as an American abroad that is a good job and, you know, provides stability? which got me looking at the State Department. I wanted to be a foreign service officer so I could get a job in a consulate or an embassy. Those are very competitive jobs to get. About 10,000 people a year apply for like 300 or 400 positions. Super competitive. So my plan was to maybe get a master's degree, but I didn't want to pay for it. And all of this led me to the Air Force, joining the Air Force at age 32. Yes, I love my country and I wanted to serve it. My father is a veteran. And I also wanted to figure out, how am I going to get a master's degree without going $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in debt? I also wanted the work experience to make me a more attractive candidate for applying to the State Department. So I joined the military in 2016. And once I got into the military, I learned of something called tuition assistance. It's completely separate from the GI Bill. The GI Bill would cover 100% of my tuition costs, but tuition assistance through the Air Force, they're willing to just subsidize your education costs to develop you professionally. It's professional development. So I started my master's degree from the University of Nebraska, Omaha in political science, international relations, something I thought would be relevant to the State Department. And it's good information. I love everything that I'm learning. In the class I just finished, I read this book, Why Nations Fail by Darren Acemoglu and James Robinson. This is potentially one of the best political science books I've ever read. It explains so much about, why we have such disparity in the world. And I could have read this book on my own. Actually, it was on my reading list because other people had recommended it. Everything that I'm learning in these classes, I could have learned on my own. I am a self-directive learner. Obviously, I'm running this YouTube channel and I'm talking about finance and investing issues. Full disclosure, I don't have a degree in finance or investing. So how much am I paying for this master's degree? I'm paying $2,000 a class. The Air Force is subsidizing $750 of that. So $1,250 out of pocket plus like books. So let's just factor in another $100. So I'm saying I'm paying $1,350 a class, and I have to take 10 classes to finish the program. So the cost to me for a master's in political science, international relations is $13,500. That's not that bad. I definitely chose this university because I thought the tuition costs were reasonable. The program was still somewhat reputable. This is a good state school. And this is a good faculty, and these are good classes. But you think about that cost, if I was just paying for it completely out of pocket, would it be worth it? And if I had just taken 20 grand and invested it in an S&P 500 index fund. If you're not familiar with index fund investing, it's the easiest way to grow wealth over your lifetime. The average annual return with dividends and capital appreciation reinvested of an S&P 500 index fund is 9.8%. So just get out the compound interest calculator, and at the age of 34, if I had just saved 20 grand, put it in a brokerage account, I'm already maxing out my IRA, so let's assume this is an ordinary brokerage account. And then I let it just grow for 25 years, age 35 to age 60 at 9.8%. I'd have $207,000. So the race here is paying for this master's degree. Am I going to earn more than $207,000 over my remaining work years? Let's assume I don't want to work past age 60. And I feel like the answer is yes, because, okay, short term, no, because earning my master's degree in the Air Force will not increase my salary at all. And getting a master's is not required to promote in the Air Force right now, but it could be in the future. They've gone back and forth when you go to promote to major or lieutenant colonel, whether or not having a private master's is relevant. I don't know if this is way too much information for you guys. I'm just sharing it to share it. I value education. I value what I'm learning. So you have to put a dollar amount on that. If you value what you're learning, you have to say the cost is worth it, even though potentially in some scenarios, if you had just taken that cash and invested it, maybe the dollar amount, you'd be better off. Coming back full circle to you and your specific scenario, my advice, and that's all I can give you, is to obtain work experience first. If you're in undergrad and you're thinking about going into a graduate program right away, then it better be for something that requires you to get that in order to, I guess if you want to be a college professor, that makes sense. Stay on track, don't fall behind. Or a doctor, you know, there are certain professions where it just makes sense to power through. But for the overwhelming majority of universities and programs out there, work experience is more valuable. And universities actually know this. When they look at graduate applicants, they favor people who took some kind of gap between their undergraduate studies and their graduate program, because it gives you that real-world experience and that perspective. You value your time more. You're not just taking it for granted, being in autopilot student mode, basically. And I don't want to get Dave Ramsey on you here, but financing your master's degree 100% on debt, financing your housing costs while you study, not working while you study, this is a recipe for disaster. If you end up graduating from graduate school 6 figures in debt, more than 100,000, you're going to be at a tremendous financial disadvantage in life. Now, obviously, if you graduate and you're a dentist or a pharmacist, you can pay it off. But it really, once again, comes down to the program, the discipline, the degree that you're pursuing. You need to have an honest conversation if the cost is worth the price, because you're going to be paying for it the rest of your life no matter what. Okay guys, that's all I got for today. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up so the algorithm knows it's good. In addition, consider subscribing to my channel. I talk about finance and investing. And if you have your own personal experience with what you did to finance your graduate degree, leave a comment down below. I think other people will find it helpful just reading other people's personal experiences. And until the next video, take care.